recognizes the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Budd, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, on July 1st of 2015, Kate Steinle was walking with her father on a pier in San Francisco. While she was on the pier, she was shot to death by an illegal immigrant who had been deported 5 times. He had been convicted of 7 felonies. Before he murdered Kate Steinle, the federal government had asked the city to turn him over so that he could be deported again. The city, following its policy of not cooperating with federal immigration officials, jail. He murdered Kate Steinle 3 months later. A few days ago, her killer was declared not guilty by a San Francisco jury. For now, there is no justice for Kate Steinle. There is a question in this, though, for all of us. It's a question we should ask when we're confronted by a terrorist attack conducted by the asylees, like the Boston bombing or the San Bernardino massacre, where one of the attackers was in the United States on a K-1 visa. The question is, why was this person in our country? In the case of Kate Steinle, we now know exactly why. The city of San Francisco's policy. The city is an accomplice to Kate Steinle's death. It's pure and simple. They have defied and continue to defy federal law. They defied it in general by refusing to cooperate with federal immigration authorities as a blanket policy. And they defied it in the specific case that led to the death of Kate Steinle. This is a radical policy, and I don't use that word lightly. You have an illegal immigrant convicted of multiple crimes in addition to coming here illegally 5 times. The federal government tries to send the guy home a 6th time, and the city lets him go because they ignore the law, and then he murders someone. The result of this city's extremism is a shattered family. The result is a father who will never see his daughter again. The result is a mother who has to face the worst nightmare of every parent. These are the terrible facts of this tragedy, Mr. Speaker, and there is nothing we can do in this body to change them. What we can do is move forward towards an immigration policy that is based on sound principles. For the radicals, this will be a radical change. For everyday Americans, this is just common sense. On this front, there are 3 fundamental principles to a sane immigration policy. First, Americans have the right to determine who becomes citizens through laws. It's right there in the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8 provides Congress with the explicit authority to regulate naturalization. A country without borders is not a country. It's just a geographic destination. Second, who comes here should be in the best interest of Americans. The number of known criminals we need to be letting in is 0. The number of people who cannot read and cannot speak English we need to be admitting is 0. The number of radical Islamists, of drug addicts we need to be letting in, 0. We are ready and willing to welcome hardworking immigrants who are ready to pay taxes, to follow our laws, and to build our country together. Third, we have the right to enforce our choices through immigration laws. We should stop sanctuary cities and enforce sanctions against those who hire illegal labor. We should build President Trump's border wall, a policy that has worked unbelievably well in Israel. Most people agree that law enforcement is an effective deterrent against committing crimes. Illegal immigration is no different. Mr. Speaker, according to the Pew Research Center, the population of illegal immigrants in my state, North Carolina, has gone up 14,000%, from 25,000 people in 1990 to 350,000 in the year 2014. We have got to get this under control. Any country where the Kate Steinle tragedy can happen is not a country with a sane immigration policy. I hope we never again have to ask the question after a tragedy, why is this person in our country? Because I hope the answer will be widely known, that we have a reasonable immigration system that benefits all Americans and does everything within reason not to bring in people who will hurt us. Kate Steinle proves that we are not there yet, but I believe that we could get there one day. Mr. Speaker, thank you, and I yield back.